Salutations readers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkechi and this is a mid-year reading journal flip through. Here's what the notebook looks like at this point of the year. We got some pages left and the spine is holding up really nicely. T4C makes a really great notebook, so if you're wondering, this is a T4C 8x8 square notebook, Moonlight Melody design in green, for anyone who's wondering. And unfortunately, the notebook itself is fine. It's just that my journaling has not been as, I don't know, there's something about my journaling in the past few months that's really kind of taken a downward turn as I expected. And I will talk about that when we get to those pages and spreads, but I'm not quite as happy with my journaling as of late. But I'm still excited though to show y'all what I've done, just in case I make certain changes as I first see myself doing in the future. But let's not worry about that. Let's just get right into the flip through itself. We'll go through a little bit quickly on the front matter stuff, as I don't have much to actually update y'all on. I have nothing about intentions or the 2BR read, and there's nothing for that. The anticipated releases though, I've definitely made some progress. I've added some book covers for things. Also made some particular progress as far as like what I've read and what I've DNF'd. So I think as an update, I've read Morbid Curiosities and The Killing Spell. I think I talked about This Wretched Beauty? No, I have not told you about that. So This Wretched Beauty I've read. So these are the three on this particular page here that I've read. DNF'd Behind Five Willows, which is unfortunate. I'm still looking forward to reading I Love You Don't Die, Charmed and Dangerous. My Lady for All Seasons, Maisie Wood, and of course The Call of Crowns. We'll see about Off the Reservation by Stephen Graham Jones. I still have yet to even read, what's it called? The Only Good Indians was the first book for this kind of series now. So I'm not totally sure I'm going to read this at all this year, but we'll see. Okay, for here, I definitely made some changes. So I included Six of Crows, The Darker Shore, Letters from Ketterdam. We'll see when I get to that though. Even though it just came out, but I do know that's gonna have a long line from the library, so we're gonna wait on that one. Kitchen, I'm just really curious about. We'll see if I even get to it. This one I'm definitely excited for. A short story collection by Alexi Hara, which does include, what was it called? The Six Deaths of the Saint. So if you're someone who wants to read that short story but don't have access to like a Kindle, you don't have a Kindle or anything in the Kindle Unlimited or anything like that, that short story is going to be in this collection. So I'm very excited about that, so I can actually read the short story that takes me, I think, Inspire the Everlasting. So that's really cool. DNF'd Santa Returning, also DNF'd Last Cut of Isako, and that's kind of it. I don't really have much actual updates. I'm still reading Ship Happens. I did already pre-order The Eye of Leviathan, The True Confessions of First Lady Freeman. This book already has come out and is already on my shelf. I think I just got the arc for the Carousel Forgotten Places. It's pretty cool. We'll see when I get to it though, but I'm very excited that I got a chance to have an arc for this book. And I'm still waiting for the Tapestry of Fate. Like, I'm waiting to get the audiobook for this book, man. Also, I'm very intrigued, again, for the intrigue. Pun intended. My physical TBR, which mostly has just been unhauling. I haven't made so much progress or anything like that as far as like reading the books, except for the Patternist series here, and that's kind of it as far as like the books I've actually have read. Now for books I've just unhauled, I just unhaul them. There's Real here, which I DNF'd. Intermezzo, which I DNF'd. Good Girl, I DNF'd. Yeah, there's a couple of DNFs on here, mostly just some unhauling. Yeah, not too much progress, and I added a couple more books, so I'm not really making much progress in my reading goal as far as like reading half of my physical TBR. It's not quite working. The numbers have been fluctuating to the point I'm kind of increasing then decreasing, but it's not the end of the world. It's just not my preferred. Oh yeah, I pretty much abandoned this entire page right here. My self-destruct TBR, I'm still trying to make my way through it, but I've kind of abandoned it as far as actually making progress on it right now. Like Good Girl is my only actual progression right now. We'll see about the other books, but this is the only one I have actually actual update on. And my Rex by Friends, this one has not been touched at all since I've started this journal, and that's unfortunate because so actually kind of looking forward to trying these books out, but I'm just not having it. Definitely making progress and did not finish Graveyard. Anything right now that's like in this yellow, except for Marcia, which unfortunately I messed that up. These 5 books are arcs, and then these books here that have this brown are books I own physically. So yeah, Marcia I don't own physically, and it's not an arc. It's actually a book I just borrowed from the library. So that's unfortunately that's wrongly colored, but regardless. Point is, I'm trying to see if I can color code the DNF Graveyard so I know to know the difference between books I DNF that were arts, books that I own, or just books that I borrowed from my library. And so far, it's kind of the mixture. I think it's somewhat even between own and that just borrowed from my library, at least so far this year. But it's something I do want to keep in track of actually in the future. Just noticing what kind of books I own physically, if I DNF those books more often than I borrow books from my library. But then again, this year is just different. So, series tracker. The only progress, again, I've been making is the Paranus series, the MM Lion series. That's kind of it, really, I have on here. Not much to actually update on. I haven't finished any other series, so yeah. Now, my ARC tracker, I gotta say, I'm actually quite proud that I even have this tracker, because I do like seeing the actual book covers, seeing books that I basically have DNF'd, that I'm like, okay, let's not even bother seeing their faces anymore, basically. And now I have like 4, well, technically now 5, I just don't have the cover for it here. But I actually have 4 or 5-ish ARCs now, 4 of which that are 2026 releases, and then of course, Eclipse and the Wolf. I'm very excited that I have an e-arc from the publisher. They know my name. At this point, they just gotta know. They just have to know that anytime Akwaeke Emezi has a new book, I'ma come on knocking. Okay? I'm very excited about this one. So excited. And of course, though, I'm really excited about the other books, especially The Scarlet Ball by Niveau, another novel by Niveau. I am here for it. And then my book clubs and buddy reads. This is kind of the page I'm sort of like abandoning, unfortunately. I mean, I'm still interested in reading American War for the Interstellar Book Club, and then Birth of a Dreamweaver for Leslie and I's buddy read for her series of reading this author's like memoirs. But as far as like an actual page though, I don't really care for it, which again is still unfortunate, but like I just think there's just too much space. As I've seen, I've not really put actual that many like books I'm interested in reading for a buddy read or a book club, as I've just been reading less, so this was kind of just overambitious. Now, my Year of Goober challenge, though, I've surprised myself in how much I've actually been following through with this, and almost on a monthly basis. Like, I already have a book for July, and now will be, for the Apple Pie prompt, a classic or retelling, and I actually already penciled it in for The Odyssey by Homer, translated by Emily Wilson, of course. Yeah, we'll see if I finish in July, but regardless though, I've been reading this epic poem in July. It's fitting right here. And I've already penciled in my other options as well for the next few months, so I'm like, I've been following through with this, and I'm very, very proud of myself for doing that. So, yeah. Very, very happy to report about that. Buzzword, I've actually made some pretty solid progress on this one. I only have 5 spots. We'll see if I even finish this whole thing. I never really finished the Buzzwordathon, like, at all. But I am pretty glad, though. I've gotten 7 out of the 12. We'll just see about the other 5. I won't be mad, honestly, if I don't make any progress in this, but I don't know. I just want to see if I can, like, make some actual progress in this one. And my adventure in Eldia, unfortunately, has been practically abandoned ever since like April. I have not been able to do anything for that May prompt, June, or July, which is very unfortunate, but I don't know. I like that I made it, and at least I tried for like a third of the year, but it's definitely needed to be abandoned, and there's just no point in me trying to get back to this one. Anyways, what we have here now is basically moving on to quickly just flipping through January through March, which honestly I already have a Q1 update on, so there's no point in me really talking about it. So I'm just gonna have some music in the background as I just flip through those few months.
You say you need your space, then pull me close. I read your silence, louder than most. One day you're warm, the next day you're cold. Got me second guessing what I already know. I give you love, but you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? You hit me up when the nights get slow, but then disappear when the highs get low. I ain't your maybe. Tell me what it is, 'cause I'm way too grown to wanna be messing with a love like this. I give you love, but you rushing yours. You open up just to close the door. You stay closing door.
Alright, I think some of y'all have already seen as well the start of the April spreads. I think I showed y'all the cover page, which is just 2 art prints from GMD. And then I have my updated reading stats here, which I think I talked about my reading stats, my spring wrap up. But I did read 4 books, 67 pages, 38.32 hours. These are like the nice looking graphs here. Acquired books I've borrowed, which yeah, that's kind of it. I did not borrow any ebooks or DVDs, so that's kind of it. And also, I think I only buy audiobooks? Wow, I guess I only bought audiobooks because there was like a sale for Indie Bookstore Day in April from Libro FM, so that's why I have 7 audiobooks that I bought. How about that? And my most read genre? Oh yeah, it's just one of everything. And my average rating was a 4.44, so honestly, nothing to complain there. And I even read a freaking nonfiction book. Alright, winning. I am winning here. And then here is the calendar page here. I have the book covers here, to be announced, 3 currently reads at the time they were currently reading. As you will see later on, I will not be currently reading any of those current reads, so that's unfortunate. Then I have my spread for the Magical Readathon, tome binder, my classes, and the prompts for them. Pretty simple stuff here, not gonna lie. And then here's my Reddit fantasy book bingo. I haven't really made that much progress in it, and I've only just added in the names of the books, as I've only done 2 squares. And I attempted a book for the older protagonist, which has been penciled in, but I did DNF the book, and that was the last contract of Isako. So yeah, not happy about it, to be quite honest. And honestly, I've not been picking up as much fantasy as I thought I would this year, so I don't even think I'm gonna make much progress in this book bingo. I'll be surprised if I even manage to get a bingo, because I don't know, I've just not been interested in like reading much from here, like at all. Like the prompts just don't really call to me, so I'm not really trying to push myself to really accomplish this, which is unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is. And then I decided to do like an author tracker for particular authors I was really interested in. I have Silvia Moreno Garcia here, then I have Jane Austen, Emily Austen, Octavia E. Butler, June Hur, Toni Morrison, TJ Alexander, and Nevo. The only author I'm I'm proactively again making progress in for at least this year has been Octavia Butler with the Patternist series, and I am planning on continuing on reading more of her books. And I'm trying to see if I can get through another Jane Austen this year with like Emma or like Sense and Sensibility or something, but for sure Emma, since I own it physically. But I don't know if I'll really read Emma this year. And then with Emily Austen, I only need 1 more book just to finish up what she already has out. And that's Interesting Facts About Space. We'll see if I even get to it. Silvia Moreno Garcia, of course. The Intrigue, I really want to read this year. And I do have a physical copy now of Gods of Jade and Shadow, so we'll see if I get through that. June Hur, I don't think is really an author I really want to read much of her backlist, to be quite honest. I've been reading more of her front list. I don't think I'm really interested in reading The Silence of Bones or The Forest of Stolen Girls, so this is kind of like a whatever now at this point. Toni Morrison, I don't know, I'm struggling to read some Toni Morrison. I'm still reading Song of Solomon, but I kind of have like a soft enough or a long pause at this point. But I do hope to get back to it this year so I can finish reading it, but I'm slow going on this one. TJ Alexander, I think is more of a front list thing for me. I'm still interested in reading their backlist, but I'm also having trouble even accessing the backlist for some reason. But we'll see though, no promises here. And then Nevo, I'm like the closest to finishing up, as I've only denounced The Chosen the Beautiful and Siren Queen, which is her more full-length novels, unfortunately. And I do have an arc now of The Scarlet Ball, so we'll see how this is. So technically speaking, there's been progress made here, but I'm not really happy about the spread itself. I'm kind of just like, about it. I don't know, I just have some spreads in this journal that I'm like no longer connecting with anymore. And then as you can see here, I have the books, but unfortunately, no reviews. I mean, the review is there, but it's like so minimal. I went through the cop-out and everything, but since this was April and I was trying to finish up the semester, like I was really focusing on like my final projects, final essays and all that stuff, but I just was not interested in writing the reviews, which really is a little bit frustrating, not gonna lie, because I wanted to get a notebook like this because I want to have more space for my reviews, or for me to not even write reviews. And then also, look at this. I had no reviews. I set up everything to have reviews. And these were the best books of the month, mind you. The Eyes of Gaza, by Policia Alacad, first nonfiction book of the year, and I have no review for it. Morbid Curiosities, which is my most surprising book so far this year. I have no review for it. I have a whole post-it note and everything. I have no review. So that's really frustrating, not gonna lie. Like, this quarter 2 of 2026, very frustrating for me for my reading journal because I have no reviews. I have struggled writing reviews and I don't know. I mean, I have an idea, but also I feel like it's gotten worse. We'll get to that later on. But these are my reviews right now, or lack thereof at this point. And then we have May, which I actually really do love the fact that I have 2 art prints here. Well, it's actually not art prints, I just like took images of Sylvie Millier's art. This one is a Rapunzel one, and this was like a Princess and the Frog one. So again, you are familiar with this artist in particular, and it's May. Here are the reading stats. I read 3 books, nothing physically, or even as like an ebook. They're all audiobooks, and one of them was nonfiction. Happy about that. And then for any books I've borrowed, nothing I've actually officially acquired in May, because I actually just pre-ordered 2 books in May. The Eye of Leviathan and the Confessions of First Lady Freeman, that one. Yeah, I pre-ordered those books in May, hence I didn't acquire anything in May, but I still pre-ordered, so hence there's an acquisition cost. And I did borrow some DVDs at least. Now, did I watch all the DVDs? I think I watched like 1 or 2 DVDs from my library at that time. But regardless, it's okay. And as far as any genres, just one of everything. And then my average rating was like 3.83. Pretty good, pretty solid. Here is the calendar. As you see, not as many books, but still, progress is progress. DNF'd a couple books here as well. A couple books that I was still currently reading, so trying to make some progress in. And as you can see, there is a kind of bit more of a stop and go for certain books. And then, the Go Readathon. That was actually kind of fun, but I didn't really make much actual progress. I think I got, 1, 2, 3, 4 points, which means Phantom Foodie, but even less points than last year, which is not bad, I guess, as I was trying to finish up the semester. Literally May is the last bit of the semester, just the first half of May, so weird transition point for me as I'm trying to just finish up the semester and basically start my summer vacation. And then also over here we have the Asian Readathon, and I'm gonna let y'all know these 5 books here, I did not finish reading them in the month of May, and I didn't even finish reading all of them either. Behind 5 Willows, y'all know I DNF'd that book. Good Girl, also DNF'd, but I put them here because I just didn't want this just to end up being empty. I really liked how I set it all up anyways. Especially since the Asian Readathon, the theme was K-pop Demon Hunters, and since K-pop Demon Hunters was Best Animated Feature and Golden was Best Original Song, I figured I had to need to have something for it, and I didn't want to have some stuff empty. So, yeah, the only books I actually truly read was Julia's Song is Undateable, The Killing Spell, and then Nana 25th Anniversary Edition, Volume 1. So yeah, and as you can see here, look at this. This Wretched Beauty, which is actually one of the books I bought for my birthday, I put a whole review for it. You see what I'm saying? April, I can't even go back and retroactively even add my reviews for my April reads, at all. I can only do it, within the moment. And in the moment, I was able to write a review for this Wretched Beauty. Everyone in this room will someday be dead. And then I didn't finish the full page, but at least I wrote a review for Jane Austen's Bookshelf. It was the second nonfiction book that I read so far this year. So for some reason in May, I was able to actually write some reviews and stuff. But for April, I couldn't do it at all. And even for Jane Austen's Bookshelf, I feel like I could have written more, but at that point I was kind of just done. I don't know, I just felt like with this particular journal, maybe it was just too big for how little I'm reading. But I still thought it was still going on fine, but I don't know. It's not my best at this point, and I'm kind of sad about it, not gonna lie. Alright, sorry about that, y'all. My camera overheated, so I needed to give it a couple hour break to just cool off. But anyways, here is my spreads for June, and I don't really even have anything for June. It's just a moon with a nice rainbow here, and I have a little bit part of my washi tape that's kind of like a sticker. And then this is not quite the new asexual flag, but this is actually called a universal asexual flag, which was created by Ace and Grace. I will link all their stuff down below as far as information what each of the stripes mean. And this is really more of a universal flag, just to be a little bit more inclusive for asexual folks with different experiences, unlike the original flag. And you don't want to use this flag, that's fine. But for someone who's Arrow Ace, I tend to use the Arrow Ace Sunset flag, really. But as far as a pure asexual flag, I do really like this color scheme, and I think also the meaning of each color, especially the yellow, pink, and purple here, I think makes more sense to me. and I really connect with this. So for any other asexual folks out there who is very curious about the flag, I will link all information regarding that flag and also the creator. And this is pretty much a community, it's still community led as far as like the creation of this flag. It's not just like Ace and Grace just put up the flag just because like there was feedback, polls. It took a long time just to like really consider some like new flags. So just want to make sure you don't know about that, because also the creator unfortunately got a lot of flack and a lot of hateful comments regarding the creation of this flag. So yes, just want to let people know about that, and all that stuff will be linked in the video description down below if you're very curious about it. But I wanted to include it in this notebook because I really want to see the flag in full, and it's really nice, and yeah, I just really liked it. Here is my reading stats, my book buying. So I read 4 books in June. I finally got some pages up in here, finally. And I have 26.6 hours. Oh, sorry, the pages is 1,402 pages. And as far as page lengths, has been between less than 300, but then also like less than 500 pages. My pacing also has been varied. Formats is 50-50 as far as print and auto. And then I finally read a book that I actually own, and mostly also borrowing from my library. My leading genre has been romance, and the average reading is at 3.88. Pretty solid stuff. My book buying has been sadly some gifted books, Libra FM stuff, and just other. And as far as I've borrowed, I did borrow a DVD, so no ebooks, but mostly audiobooks and a couple of physical books. So yeah, pretty solid stuff here. And then this is the calendar. It's a lot more busy, I think, and I think it just like makes sense for how busy it was as I'm trying to get back into reading again for myself outside of like schoolwork. And I did finish a few books. I DNF'd a lot more books. Although I will say though, again, Last Contract Isako, even though it shows that I'm currently reading, I did end up DNFing in July. So yeah, that does count, but I'm still reading Ship Happens. I also did DNF Intermezzo as well by Sally Rooney in July. It's just not seen here. Oh yeah, there's only one sit in Hollywood. Yeah, I DNF'd that book as well. So even though there's a few books here that are like shown as like currently reading, I did end up DNFing those books. Okay, great. So now my camera overheated and now I gotta change the battery. Be right back. Alright, y'all, back at it again. Change battery like this. The calendar, kind of like it. Pretty busy, but also some indication of some books I DNF'd. So yeah, this is when I DNF'd Behind 5 Willows and Good Girl. At the time I put The Last Contract of Isako on pause right here. There's only one sit in Hollywood I put on pause right there. Oh yeah, I put Ship Happens on pause as well. Like, I don't know, I put a lot of stuff on pause. I like that I indicated it on here, especially also some DNFs, but it does kind of let me know though that I'm kind of also like in a weird reading slump. And I'm trying to get back into it, but I will also say though in July I've been reading a lot of Nana volumes. And then of course we have the Tarot Readathon. There was some kind of like empty space. I kind of used the remaining bits of my washi tape since it's actually pre-cut. It's a pre-cut washi tape, so I kind of treat them like stickers. So I just kind of like put them around in the empty spots here. And I actually did really well for the Tarot Readathon. I did manage to accomplish my TBR, got the Killing Spell, Julia's Song is Undateable, and Clay's Arc. I also put the Last Contract of Isako in case, because I wasn't sure which science fiction book I was going to read, but I'm glad I was able to get through Clay's Arc, which I did own physically. And as you can see here, I have a whole review for Julia's Song is Undateable. And I was really happy about myself. I was like, wow, look at that. I managed to write a whole ass review and use up the entire page. Love that for me, okay? I love it. Truly do. And then I got to here, and I was like, well, not at all how I imagined this to be. I started writing my review for Clay's Arc. I didn't finish it because I was actually recording a vlog and I didn't get back into like writing my reviews here. Unfortunately, The Killing Spell is actually the worst rated book so far this year, and yeah, didn't like it as much. I like the main character, but I was not a fan of everything else. It was a debut and one of my most anticipated releases, so that definitely sucked, and I didn't write much. I even went like a bullet point method for my review. This is actually the last spread of June, which is therefore the last spread of like Q2, honestly. And as you can see here, like I definitely had a lot more optimism for like the beginning part of the year when I was writing my full reviews. And then as time went on, I started to write less and less reviews. I know in May at least, I managed to write a little bit more reviews, but then June rolled around and I started really well here, and then got to here and I was kind of like, I'm feeling kind of done with the notebook now. And I think my issue with this journal is that it's too big. I do think that this particular square notebook is the wrong notebook for the period of my life right now. I think the square notebook would have been worked pretty well last year when I had my B5, you know? Instead of B5, I could have used a square when I was reading a lot, since both the square and the B5 have the same number of pages, but the square is a little bit on the kind of like, it's not of height as a B5 and it's wider. So I actually could have done really well with the square notebook last year, or even the year before that in 2024. I could have used a square then. But unfortunately in 2026, as I'm going back to school and stuff and how much vacation, it's more slumpy for me. And unfortunately, that kind of means I don't need as much space to write my reviews. And I think that's kind of where I'm going. That's the trajectory I'm going. And I actually am going to show y'all what I've been doing so past the June stuff, because July, this is what I'm doing. I don't have anything for July at all. I kind of have the space, like I'm doing some stats for the rest of the year, because I don't really want to go back to making cover pages and review spreads like I did before. I'm kind of like moving on to something else right now. And as you can see, I've put in my things about the books that I DNF'd, how much progress I made into it before I DNF'd it. And you see here, I have my Nana volumes that I've read. I even read more Nana volumes. And then I have the Odyssey, My Heart's a Chainsaw, Ship Happens. But I'm not really gonna continue on with this. I did make space for like even more for books that I made DNF or finish, but unfortunately, I'm abandoning this. I don't want to add more to this at all. And it's unfortunate because I really wanted to see if I was going to continue on using this notebook at all, but I don't think I want to use this notebook at all. I think I'm abandoning it. I just don't want to use this square notebook. It's too much space for where my reading is going, and I think it's just too much for me to manage for the rest of the year, which is unfortunate. I was really, really excited for this notebook. I had a lot of ideas and plans I want to do for each month of the year, how the spread's going to look, especially in a square, and then I even try to see if I can make like a spread here for Nana. This is for like volumes 1 through 7, which of course the anniversary edition actually is an omnibus of the first 2 volumes. So volumes 1 and 2 is here, and then I have 3 through 7 here. And I have a bit of some thoughts here, but I kind of stopped writing my thoughts. Like I just felt like this is too much space to write my thoughts on the first few volumes. And I thought maybe I'd just wait till I'm finished reading the manga series and then write the whole thing. But then I didn't feel inspired to write more, and it's just unfortunate. And then I even made a spot right here for whenever I get a chance to review the Odyssey, because I can continue on with that. But I don't feel that inclined to really write anything. It's weird because I'm feeling inclined to decorate, because I mean here's the other covers for the rest of the manga series. But that's just really just there just to like add in some space and pad it through. And then I had covers for My Eyes a Chainsaw and Ship Happens, and I thought I was gonna continue on, but it's just very clear to me that this is just all for decoration. Like this is just like, oh, I need to like fill some stuff because like it's just empty, but it's gonna remain empty in the sense of like there's no reviews. I'm not gonna like review any more of this stuff here. And it's just sad because I really thought I would, but this is not something that I even care about anymore. I don't care for this notebook, and I was really excited for it. But unfortunately, this notebook is gonna have to go into my archive. I don't really see myself coming back to this notebook, and it's very unfortunate because I know a lot of y'all maybe found my channel when I set up this notebook for 2026, but this notebook just has to go. And it's unfortunate too because I still have a lot of pages left in here, but this notebook has to go. I'm done with this. No more for me on this notebook. So that means basically no more reading journals for the rest of the year. Because I still plan on making reading journal videos and stuff and having another reading journal. I'm just gonna wait maybe for the start of like 2027 to do a whole new setup. Because I don't really think I'm gonna track my reading in this notebook. And I don't think I'm gonna track my reading in another notebook either for the remainder of the year. I'm still optimistic that I will film a setup journal for 2027, but it definitely needs to be in a smaller notebook. It just cannot be in this square notebook anymore. I need to go somewhat smaller. That's for future me to worry about. And for y'all, I'm sorry. I really do want to apologize because I really had some high expectations, and I kind of gave y'all those expectations that when I do have videos, I'm going to have like my reading journal content. It's just unfortunate that this is not the case, but this is going into the archives, unfortunately. But I guess for one last time, let's see, where is it? The April stuff. So I'll just give y'all just a quick flip through for April through June, as I pretty much need to like put this journal away. But thank you all though for joining me and, you know, spending time with me as I show y'all this journal for basically the last time here. And, you know, like the video if you like it, comment down below your thoughts on the journal, also my thoughts on that this journal needs to be archived. How is your reading journal going? If you have one, do you plan on having one? Because honestly, as far as reading journals are concerned, you can start at any point at any time. And I don't know, leave me a comment for anything else that you have for this video. You like my vibe? You want to see some other videos, and hopefully also my 2027 reading journal setup, which I'm very hopeful that is going to happen, then I definitely recommend at least subscribing. Now, you made this far in the video, you're not sure what to say, but you want to leave me an emoji to let me know you're here. You can leave me like a green heart emoji, a green notebook emoji, maybe a green notebook actually. I do think there is a green notebook emoji. So, you know, you can leave that or some sort of other journaling kind of emoji. Anyways, thank you all again for watching this video. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, evening, night, dusk, dawn, or whatever time zone it is. Or just maybe like a really good journaling week or something if you're having a hard time with your journaling. Anyways, thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.